Good morning. This is that one guy broadcasting from sunny St. Joseph. That's right. If you're following my movements, I'm moving up and down the west coast. All right. So here's what we've got. On the Mun, we've got Mun Base Alpha resting in this little crater right here. I don't know why it's counted as a station. I clearly told it to be a base. But, yep, we can fix that when we go up there. So let's go back to the Space Center. Almost terminated that flight. That would have been terrible. Alright, so I didn't upload any of my other Mesa parts into this pack. So I believe what I said is we're going to need at least a power station, a comms node, and a lab with a habitation unit to make this worthwhile. So the next thing that it would probably be a good idea to put up onto the Mun would be, undo that, would be, there we go, the power plant. I'm not sure why it undid every single docking port that I took off, but okay, we can roll. So for my, let's see, for my power plant, what I like to do is the thing that I've discovered with any sort of electricity in this game is, number one, you don't actually need a lot of it, but number two, you don't need that many solar panels. You just need enough to charge up your batteries before the sun is inaccessible to you. To put that in layman's terms, if we're going to be on the Mun, then we need to make sure that we have enough batteries on this thing that we can, survive moon or night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Action Group 1 toggle panels. And other than that, I just need to put a dome over here. And there we go. That's my Mesa. My Mesa power plant. Excellent. Now let's launch, even though I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's launch, even though I'm pretty sure the Mun is not going to be in phase by the time we get there. Indeed, it won't be. It'll just be out of phase. So let's go ahead and speed up time, because I don't want to have to sit there and orbit the Mun forever. There we go. That will do it. Alright. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm going to can it and put on a little music. Okay, and we're back. I'm going to explain a couple things while I wait for the Mun to get into the right position. What we're going to do is we're going to do something called cluster dropping. Now, I made reference to it in my last video, but I don't think I ever actually explained it. It is actually exactly what it sounds like. All we're doing is just trying to put this piece of the station as close as possible to the piece of the station that's already on the ground. Now, a couple pieces. I'm sorry, I can speak English. A couple pieces of advice when building your own sky crane units to drop things onto the Mun, especially heavy things. I highly recommend that you put your RCS in the sky crane part. I'm not sure if I've gone over this before because it's been a while. For the reason that if you don't, the whole thing becomes very unwieldy and awkward to control on the descent part, as these engines gimbaling do not really respond too well to, where is it? Well, it's covered up by that right there, but do not respond too well to the OKTO Type 2 Probodyne probe. So what we're doing is we're just burning for the mun, and right now our landing zone is in darkness, but by the time we get over here it should be in light, which is exactly why I launched when I did. Now, I did have to do a okay, that was just bad. I did have to do an incomplete orbit of Kerbin in order to actually get my spaceship in position, but you definitely want the mun phase to outweigh the convenience of launch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just speed up time here again. I'm going to explain cluster dropping, and once I actually set up the power plant into the station itself, then I think I'm going to call that an episode. I know it's going to be a little bit shorter, but I don't really see the point in, once we have all of the basics down, building the rest of the station. I might, or base. I might put that up as a separate video where when I have more time to watch the base get completed. But alas, I have an internship and all sorts of things are going on. But you don't want to hear that, I'll shut up, put music on, I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm back, and now we're going to go over how to cluster drop. I'm not sure that the crane to first base part cluster drop is nearly as important as this, so I'm going to cover it. What we're going to do is we're going to drive the periapsis into non-existence by burning retrograde. Once it goes away, we're going to wait until the end of your suborbital trajectory is past where your target is. Now let's see, it looks like we're going to be landing a bit north of where we want to be, so I'm going to swing the ship down to heading 180 due south. Then we're going to have, oh crud, we're going to have a little video hiccup. Okay, and we're going to increase the throttle because we want that line to pass over our landing zone. Now we've got our periapsis back, but that's not a huge deal. There we go. We are going to want to cancel that out, but we want to make sure the new, orbit instead of suborbital trajectory is in line with our landing zone. So now we're going to burn retrograde, which our retrograde has moved, and jackpot. Now as you see, we're going to be coming in pretty hot over the landing zone, but we can correct for this when we get the landing zone in sight. We should only have to burn off 500 meters per second or so. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to here. Those are freaking out. They get to stop doing that. I've got plenty of monopropellant though. So first things first, we're going to speed up. First thing we're going to see is the moon or sunrise. Cool. Then we're going to be coming in pretty hot over the landing zone. Alright, there it is. It's 40 some kilometers away, and the thing is, like I said, we are coming in pretty hot because I dropped that pretty close. These cluster drops are probably one of the harder types of landings to do, especially in an atmospheric setting. So what we're going to do is we're going to find where our retrograde is, and then we're going to burn retrograde, but we're also going to burn at a 45-degree angle above the horizon as to not crash in to the base. Now, we've given ourselves a little bit of altitude, so now we have to burn off the rest of this horizontal speed. And as we can clearly see, we're not passing over it perfectly, but that's fine. We don't really need to at this particular stage. Now, one thing you are going to have to be ready for is staging, because that happens pretty quickly with this particular design if you chose to copy it. Here we go, and boom, staging. Alright. Now this stage is a lot more effective at dropping your speed, as there's less weight to maneuver around. We're working with the fuel rather than having to cart the fuel around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down to a nice, let's say, less than 10 meter a second surface velocity. There we go. Now, what we can do is I need to move a bit south and east, so we're going to direct our craft over to bearing 135 due southeast, and then we can fiddle with it from there. The idea is to get the end of this blue line pretty much right on that, but not so right on it that we will crash into it. Now let's see here, how are we doing? Pretty good, but as you see, we're still going down, and I would like a little area of play, so we're going to bring this back up to bearing 45 degrees above the horizon, and there we go. Now I'm going to swing this due north a quick second. Alright, just to correct for that, and I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and come back here, and let's see. Now the reason cluster dropping is harder, especially at this stage, is when you come in, you're going to be coming in very, very, very hot, I should say, because right now we are at 146, and let me see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dump a lot of speed right now, and by a lot, I mean down to probably about 20 meters a second. That'll put us close enough to this thing that the crane can compensate, come out here and get it. Cluster dropping is a lot of very hard burns. Now let me see. Yeah, that's pretty close. So, one thing I really do wish I had was some sort of ground radar, because right now I have to use the old trick of using the sun to figure out where I am. So let's see, we're coming in, so I would say we're probably less than 500 meters from the surface. And it wasn't the best cluster drop in the world. I mean, I could, in theory, try to get myself a little closer, so I'm going to. And this is where your more finesse sort of burns come in. So we're going to just burn east a little bit, do a bunny hop. How we doing? We're still going up. That's fine. Okay. Coming in. And don't worry if you crash your first couple of times when you're trying to do this. It's probably one of the harder aspects of the game. Making quick adjustments, cluster dropping. To be honest, I would probably practice with some rovers and or some just practice pods first. Yep, okay, we're coming in pretty good, and let's go ahead and get this down to about 0. Drop that. Now, hopefully it survives the landing and stays upright. Yep, now let's switch up. There we go. We're going to end this flight because I know it's going to crash away from the stuff. That's one of the things that I need to fix about that. I need to probably put some sort of guidance on there. Now, let me see. Where did that end up? Okay, not bad, not bad. Turn off the brakes. Oh. Okay, here we go. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to speed up time. I'm going to put it on a little music. And then when we get under there, I will explain further what we're going to do.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch no bandit run. Keep your foot hard on the pedal, son, never mind them brakes.
Alright, and I'm back. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to pull under this thing so that my direction that I have designated as forward on this crane craft is going to be the same direction that I'm going to be using to dock. Now, let's go ahead and set this as my target. Very slowly, we're just gonna, oh, there we go. We've gotten into that weird hover state, so let's go ahead and cancel out the rotation. That's the nice thing about a lower gravity body. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze and I figured I didn't want to blow out your eardrums. Is that you can do that little hover dance and line up perfectly. Now we're going to control from that Clampotron docking port up there because that's where we're going to need to be. Now I'm going to shut up and put a little music on. You're going to want to take this a little bit slower on your way back because, well, you've got a big thing on top of you now. So let's go ahead and get it up to speed and then put some music on.
Never mind them brakes, let it all hang out cause we got a run to make. The boys are thirsty in Atlanta and there's beer in Texarkana and we'll bring it back no matter what it takes. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch your bandit run.
Okay, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to set this as my target because I want my power plant to be facing pretty much east-west so that my solar panels are oriented north-south. That way when the sun rises until the sun sets on the surface of the Mun, they will be able to roughly track out its position and I can get the optimal amount of charge. Now as I was saying earlier on the ground, especially for the Mun, alright, let me see, that's not even close to lined up. Especially for the Mun, you don't really need that many solar panels as the sun stays up for so long. What you need is a lot of batteries because the sun also stays down for so long. Okay, and there's that. Alright, let's try popping this thing into place. We're going to lower that, lower that. Try driving forward. Alright. No turkey. Alright, we're gonna raise that, raise that. Yeah, and that's why we're still slightly off, so we're just gonna get out of that magnetic field. Back it up slightly. Okay, this reminds me of using Skytrax all over again. Okay. There we go, that's a little better, not, you know, phenomenal, but we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, yeah, I think if I lowered these, I might be able to grab it up. And let's try lowering that one again. This process is a lot of trial and error, so let's... Alright, I'm going to speed this up until I actually get it. Okay, that was a little easier than I thought it was going to be. So that's, I guess, why you saw that in real time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower all of these so that the base is standing on its own. I'm going to undock this, switchcraft. Oh, come now. Don't be like that. I am getting a phone call. Why? Why are you being like this? There we go. Okay, we're going to just absolutely plow through that because I don't want to get caught in that magnetic field. Holy cow, I will call you back. Alright, we put the parking brake on. Then we're going to hit 1, 2... Oh, wrong solar panels. Oh well, it doesn't really make a difference. They're solar panels. I meant to put on the flat ones. I forgot which was which. Oh well, they're still solar panels, they're still going to be collecting energy, and this is still probably going to last an entire lunar night. This has been That One Guy. Thanks for watching.